doing, all Misfit Nation? Welcome back to another episode of the Misfit Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, Matt, the Misfit. This is your SmackDown review for November the 24th, 2023. We are going to go over Friday Night SmackDown, the last show before Survivor Series. We're going to talk all things Survivor Series, everything that happened on the show here tonight. We had a change to one of the matches for tomorrow night's show. We're also going to go over preview and predictions for Survivor Series WarGames. We will also go over possibly whether or not he comes back or not, CM Punk, and maybe some other things. Who knows? But what I want you to do here, hit that like button, comment down below, subscribe, youtube.com/@Misfit Wrestling Podcast. You can follow the social medias, Pile Driver Pulse on Twitter, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Audible, and Pandora for the other audio outlets for this show, and Instagram on there for @Misfit Wrestling Pod. I hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving. I had a great Thanksgiving. Like I said, I didn't do Dynamite. Dynamite seemed like a good show. Unfortunately, I was dead ass tired on Wednesday, so I missed most of it here. So I'm gonna go back and watch some of the matches here. I heard some of the Continental Classic matches were good. There's a story on Jay White that I'm gonna go over on Sunday's show, but I'm gonna talk about that there, as well as unfortunate news for Suzuki. Hopefully, she's not gonna be out for very long. She has a minor fever, so they're gonna keep her off this weekend's show. This weekend's shows to do all of that. SmackDown opened up with the babyfaces for the women's War Games: Bianca Belair, Shotzi, Becky Lynch, and Charlotte Flair. Becky says it's been a while, but she's happy to be in the ring to say that she's come around to SmackDown. She addresses questions why she agreed to team with Bianca, Charlotte, and Shotzi for War Games. Says that she just wants to beat up Damage Control. Bianca chimes in and says they have 4 members on a solid team. That's debatable. Says Damage Control has been going low for quite some time, which doesn't make a lot of sense. But now they're going to war. Shotzi expresses her excitement over competing in War Games. Says Damage Control humiliated her by cutting her hair. No, Bayley cutted your hair, not Io. Just let's get that fucking straight there. Says Damage Control thought they would break her. Bayley thought they would break her. Or she thought Bayley would break her. Let's be real on that one. Yada. I just stopped listening to Shotzi after a while because that fucking gave me a headache. Listening to the Shotzi Blackheart try to talk into a microphone. She's a great singer. Her personality is great and all that stuff outside wrestling, right? But her as a promo, never give a microphone to her again. Neither do you give Charlotte a microphone, because she was, I guess, going to talk and didn't. Sorry if I am yawning. Bayley comes out. She comes out by herself. She says she never thought she'd see the day that Becky and Charlotte would join forces together. She knows them all too well. So she knows them for over 10 years, which is true. She says Charlotte has always had something to say about Becky during their car rides, and Becky would do the same thing. Says Becky, being a mom, has made her soft. Says she seems to be okay with being picked as last resort. She says War Games is a brutal match, and cohesion is necessary to emerge victorious. She says Damage Control does that while her opponents don't. Well, oh boy, Bayley, you don't know what's coming for you. And sure, fucking Flair opens her stupid ass mouth and says, she points out the absence of Damage Control. Becky says she came to Chicago to look for a fight. And at this point here, at one point, Charlotte opened her mouth and said, started talking, and the CM Punk chants broke out, and they immediately died afterwards. There were CM Punk chants before the show happened, and they were booed out of the building. I think they do not have to worry about being hijacked tomorrow with CM Punk chants. Just saying. And Becky basically, says, basically, I guess, challenges two members of Damage Control to a tag team match. Bayley says that's what she wanted and accepted the challenge. And Charlotte's not too happy about that. Then we got a tag team title match between the Judgment Day and Street Profits. This was kind of boring, if I'm being completely honest here. This version of the Street Profits as this isn't doing it for me. I just don't care. First of all, doing this match 24 hours before you got to go into WarGames is the dumbest thing ever. At one point, this match, Damian Priest got his Randy Orton's taunt. I was hoping to see one of them hit a RKO. That didn't happen, but Balor hits the coup de grace to get the win here. And WWE still not beating those allegations of people losing in their hometown because guess who is from Chicago? That would be Montez Ford. Lashley's backstage with B-Fab looking angry. They lost. Big fucking whoop. I even no longer care about this thing with Bobby Lashley. I was intrigued. And now all they do is lose at this point, and now I don't give a shit. So, next up, we have the Grayson Waller effect when WWE could have done something even hilarious at this point, but they chose not to do that. I was hoping that they would have Grayson Waller come out to CM Punk's music. That didn't happen. I wish they had done that just to shut everyone else up about CM Punk, and I'll get to that in just a little bit here. Kevin Owens' music hits because currently Kevin Owens is supposed to be his guest. Austin Theory comes out of the ring, does his shtick. Those two go back and forth here. Kevin Owens comes out, questions why Theory and Waller are doing all this stupid shit and all that stuff here. You know, Kevin Owens made the statement of, see, well, you know what happens when you bring up somebody's name. That would have been a perfect spot for a CM Punk chant, but that didn't happen. LA Knight's music hits. LA Knight do his shtick. They beat up Waller and LA Knight, or not LA Knight, Waller and Theory. And then we get a tag team match. Tag team matches all over the place. This was okay. Actually, this was I didn't really care about this here. BTF for the win. BFT or whatever for the win on Austin Theory. Does LA Knight and Kevin Owens have that thing here. Carlito makes his way down to the ring here to come face to face with Santos Escobar. Carlito says it's been a long time since he's been in Chicago, and then says tomorrow will be his first premium live event in 13 years, even though you were just at Fastlane last month? No, it was 2 months ago. I'm just saying. Now, if you're talking about singles matches, sure. Bruh, you were at like 2 pay-per-views this year. You were at Backlash and you were at Fastlane. Just saying. But says all he can think about is Rey Mysterio and his amputated leg. He didn't say that part. And it talks about getting his hands on Santos Escobar. Says that Escobar has said terrible things about Rey, and he has a message for him. Says in Spanish. Doesn't understand what he said here, but it's what he said. It tells him Survivor Series is for Rey Mysterio, and he just made a very, very big mistake here. Santos Escobar comes out, says Carlito isn't even representing the LWO colors. He questions if Rey has always been his family. Santos Escobar says Rey was his family. and his family would still be together if it wasn't for Carlito. Says Carlito, he says wouldn't be for Rey Mysterio or whatever. He says Carlito is to blame for what happened to Rey. They start brawling and all that stuff here, and then Escobar delivers the knee to the shoulder, to the barricade and all that stuff here. Into the back here, Carlito is getting his arm amputated on by Santos Escobar. Dragon Lee gets in to make the save, to set up what's going to happen a little bit later. I'll talk about it in a second here. Pretty Deadly defeated the Brawling Brutes. Basically, the main point of this match here is to keep going on with the dissension between Pete Dunne and Ridge Holland. It looks like we're finally getting the resurgence, return to form of Pete Dunne in a couple of weeks, and I'm very excited about that. So then we go back to Nick Aldis, who has an update on Carlito following Escobar's attack on him. Says Carlito is unable to compete tomorrow at Survivor Series and is about to postpone the match when Dragon Lee walks in and says, I'll take Carlito's spot and against Santos Escobar, and Aldis like, sure. So now on the card we have Santos Escobar versus Dragon Lee, which is going to fucking hump like a motherfucker. My real reason for why I think this match has been moved from the show is because I think WWE knows that if it was still Carlito and Santos Escobar, the crowd is going to start chanting CM Punk throughout that match. They don't anticipate that to happen with Dragon Lee, because Dragon Lee has been putting on bangers. And also, what's the word I'm looking for? And had gotten over with the crowd. So I think that's what that's why I think they did it for. Oh, we'll go over predicting that match in a little bit here. So the main event was Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair taking on Asuka and Bayley of Damage Control. Throughout the show, Bianca's trying to get Becky and Charlotte on the same page. So through some of the match they were, and then at one point near the end of it, Becky hits a manhandle slam on I believe it's Bayley, and Asuka's coming in to break it up. Charlotte hits Asuka with the spear and knocks Asuka into Becky. Becky sees that and takes it as her trying to steal her thunder, and then distraction, roll up by Bayley. 1, 2, 3. Damage Control gets the win here. Going into the WarGames, this would have been should have been a women's WarGames advantage match, but it was not because they decided to have Ruffles be the fucking. Well, they just get on my nerves here. But after the match, Becky and Flair start arguing. Belair and Shotzi try to prevent things from boiling over, and Becky leaves, heading up at the back as the show goes off the air. So this does not change my outcome on the women's WarGames match, and I'll go over that in a little bit here. Let's talk about the preview. First of all, SmackDown was kind of boring for the most part. Mostly tag team matches. No singles matches were on the show, by the way. The only thing that really mattered on this show that was building up to... The only two things that really had any build towards Survivor Series was the main event and then the Santos Escobar Carlito stuff. Other than that, and maybe the Judgment Day. So there was something earlier on with the Judgment Day. They were talking about Randy Orton and, Jey Uso being the one... being part of the reason why Randy Orton had to take 19 months off of television. So, there's that. But other than that, SmackDown was meh, But here, we're going to go over a show that I'm actually very looking forward to. Survivor Series WarGames live from Rosemont, Illinois. At the Allstate Arena. They are going to sell out that venue because if you've seen the stage, which I thought was great. I like the set because you can fit more people in there, and it looks fantastic. Because then the people behind the stage, who can actually see what the fuck is going on here. So, anyway, Let's go over the card here. We're going to go over the main, or not that we'll go over the WarGames matches last. Let's go over the main undercard matches here. We got Dragon Lee versus Santos Escobar. This is kind of untoward here because neither Dragon Lee or Santos Escobar should be losing here. However, they just turned Santos Escobar heel, so I'm going to go with Santos Escobar here to get the win here. To further what are they going to do with it? Because there was rumors and reports that Dragon Lee was going to be inserted, or not inserted, but some part of this storyline here with the LWO. So you know, and they're obviously saving the Santos Escobar Rey Mysterio match possibly for WrestleMania, which is why they did the whole angle with Rey Mysterio supposedly getting knee surgery. I don't know how legit the knee surgery is, but yeah. Gunther will defeat The Miz for the Intercontinental Championship under no fucking circumstances, in no fucking way, shape, or form that The Miz should be walking away with the Intercontinental Championship, because Chad Gable should be the one to beat Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship. That is my prediction on that. And if I'm booking this, I want The Miz to be squashed in 10 seconds to kill that fucking push for The Miz. So that's what I think here. Rhea Ripley will defeat Zoe Stark to retain the Women's Championship, as she is getting prepared to go into the Royal Rumble to possibly defend the title against Shayna Baszler. That's my prediction on that. And then going into Perth, she may defend the title inside the Elimination Chamber, which kind of makes me think they're going to have Becky Lynch win the Royal Rumble this year, which I don't want to see as much as I love Becky. So I don't know what they're going to do with that on that end here. And then they're going to obviously go into WrestleMania with Becky and Rhea as the possible main event for night one. So there is that. As of this writing, Shinsuke Nakamura is not planned or booked to be in Chicago, or is not planned to be on Survivor Series at all. There is no plans to pay off this storyline right now with him calling out this mystery man. I personally do not think it's CM Punk. I think it's Brock Lesnar. But I think they're going to wait until Royal Rumble season to start unveiling that. And I'll leave the CM Punk discussion at the end when I finish all this stuff here. We get the women's WarGames match. Bianca Belair, Shotzi Blackheart, Charlotte Flair, and Becky Lynch versus Bayley, Asuka, Io Sky, and Kairi Sane of Damage Control. Damage Control absolutely should be winning this match. Under no circumstances should the babyfaces be winning here, especially if you're going to have the babyfaces win in the main event. So what I think is going to happen here, I think Io is going to let her best friend Kairi get the win here instead of Bayley, because they did it again tonight. Io, Kairi, Asuka, and Dakota would be talking amongst themselves. Bayley would walk into the shot and they immediately get a cold. They get a cold look at her. They are no longer enthusiastic about her being in the room. They're not going to turn on her now. They're gonna drag this shit out all the way to WrestleMania. I'm perfectly fine with that because I think the match at WrestleMania at this point in time should be Io Sky defending the WWE Women's Championship against Bayley. I know originally I said Kairi should be the one to take the title off her, but if we're gonna be building towards Bayley and Io at WrestleMania, then I'm perfectly fine with Bayley winning the title from Io Shirai. Right now, Io Sky, whether fucking people want to admit it or not, is the money draw right now as the champion. Because every time she's on TV, whether it's in a segment, backstage segment, or an in-ring segment, or a match that she has, or if she's involved with a match that other people are in, that segment, or whatever segment / match, that rating goes up hugely. When it's just Bianca versus Bayley, it goes down slightly. Io is a draw, and she should remain, and that right there should tell you, yeah, she should probably go into WrestleMania as the champion. But I'm going to go with Damage Control to get the win here. Is and it's going to be Shotzi's going to take the out of the babyface team. Shotzi's going to take the pin here, and I just want to see. Hopefully Bianca and Charlotte go into a tag team thing here, and also I think Asuka and Kyrie may actually go after the tag team titles at WrestleMania with those there. So who knows for that. Main event: Cody Rhodes, Seth freaking Rollins, Jey Uso, Sami Zayn, and the returning Randy Orton take on the Judgment Day's Damian Priest, Finn Balor, Dominic Mysterio, JD McDonough, and not part of Judgment Day, Drew McIntyre. The babyfaces should absolutely be winning this. Right now, Judgment Day, outside of Rhea Ripley, should not be trusting Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre still does not like Jey Uso. And out of everyone in this match, Randy Orton should not be trusting Jey Uso or Sami Zayn for this matter here. Because Sami Zayn was also one of the reasons why the Orton lost the tag team titles. Because he was part of that whole thing still. Yeah. But who is going to get the pin? So JD McDonough is going to be taking the pin here. That's my prediction on that. Who is the one who pins him? I'm going to go with Cody Rhodes to help set up that stuff with Cody Rhodes, because next in line is Cody Rhodes versus. They might actually go into the Cody Rhodes, Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre thing they kind of teased that they're going to do, or they might just go into Drew versus Jey Uso. But I feel like Randy Orton might just RKO Jey Uso at the end of the match, just for that there. So those are my picks and predictions for Survivor Series. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, which is one Philip Jack Brooks. No, my answer in here right now at this very moment in time, no, CM Punk will not be at Survivor Series. Will he eventually return to the WWE? My answer to that right now is yes. I would save his return for the Royal Rumble. But if he is on the show, to get the CM Punk chance out of the way, have him open the fucking show, do whatever you need to do here, do the whole first dance thing, let him cut like a 10-minute promo or whatever, telling people he's back or whatever, and then get on with the rest of the show. That way, CM Punk chants do not take over the show. Because if you notice, when CM Punk came back in 2021 and went to AEW, the CM Punk chants from August 20th, 2021, all the way to September 5th. I think it was September 5th, 2023. Those CM Punk chants died in WWE. Now that he's, this whole stuff here with him possibly being at Survivor Series or whatever, him possibly coming back, and they started back up here. But no, I don't think CM Punk is going to be at Survivor Series tomorrow, and I don't think if he shows up, it's going to be at Survivor. It's going to be at the Royal Rumble. So that is my prediction on all of that. Other than that, I don't have anything else to talk about. Other than I will see you guys back here for Survivor Series tomorrow. And then on Sunday, I will go over Dynamite, possibly Collision, and Rampage, baby. Talk about the content of the classic, problems I have with a few of the names that are in the tournament, who I think should have been in the tournament, who are not, and all of that good stuff. Also, which I think was kind of funny tonight during the show, is Kyrie is trying so hard to be a heel, but wants to be a babyface at the same time, because she was trying to high five people coming down the ring, coming down the ramp, which I thought was hilariously adorable. She is one of my very many wrestling spirit animals. So yeah. But other than that, I have nothing else to talk about here. I will see you guys back here for SmackDown. I'll see you back here again for Survivor Series War Games review, and then on Sunday for Pile Driver Pulse, where we go over SmackDown, Dynamite, Collision, possibly Rampage, some Stardom news that dropped. I will go over my predictions for the show that's happening on Thursday, the 28th. Tuesday the 28th, and then I will probably, maybe, I might have to make a prediction on the Big Nagawa show, or before anything else is talked about on that here, and all that good stuff here. But until then, I've been Matt Livisit. I will see you guys here tomorrow for War Games. We're out.